At this time, I would like to introduce LISD Superintendent Jim Philp, who will deliver our welcome.
Good evening. Tonight is a historic night. Not only are we recognizing 3 exceptional young people, young students tonight, tonight is the first graduating class of the JCC LISD Academy, the first diplomas that have ever been awarded through JCC LISD Academy. Not only that, tonight is the first time in the history of the Lenawee ISD, roughly 50 years, that diplomas have been issued. So congratulations to you on all 3 accounts. Good evening, I'm Jim Philp, Superintendent of the Lenawee ISD, and I would like to welcome you to the graduation celebration tonight. We are here tonight because of risks that have been taken by the Lenawee ISD Board of Education to start a brand new school, a school that was totally new to Lenawee County. We're here because of the risks that parents have taken, the students have taken to come to this brand new school. This school was not proven. Again, it was brand new to Lenawee County, so I congratulate you on taking that risk, both the students and the parents, for allowing that to happen. Tonight we're honoring 3 students. 3 have taken that risk, who've gone above and beyond, have strived to reach this educational milestone. On behalf of the LISD Board of Education and me, congratulations and welcome. Thank you.
Anthony Mulholland to the podium.
I was homeschooled before I came to this academy. So the change between homeschool and another small school was fairly different. And typically I wake up about 8:30 in the morning for homeschool and get all my schoolwork done, finished by roughly 1 o'clock. Then for the rest of the day, I'd do whatever I wanted. Like, I usually played Xbox until I got tired of that or fell asleep. Usually I fell asleep first. But I felt that I was meant for more, something else, other than learning whatever I needed to do for the day, then regurgitating it later for the next test. Then my mom came to me and said that there was this new school starting, and I got excited because I wanted to try it out, and I knew my brother would be going to it. So I didn't know how that would turn out. Also considering that I was already in 11th grade and the school was currently accepting 9th graders. So me being 2 years ahead of everybody else, I had no idea what it'd be like in the future. And then that same week I was gratefully accepted to this school. And during that same week, the principal at that time was like asking me what did I want to do for the rest of my life. And I had no clue, but I like to help people, so I figured I'm going to be a police officer. Now, then at this point, we were walking around JCC, and he said, "Okay, cool. You can be a police officer. You get to look at a cadaver. I don't think "get's" the right word for that. Have to might be. So then I quickly changed my school objective to computers because I don't really feel like looking at a cadaver too much. So after that, I started taking a bunch of computer college classes, and I started working towards computers, which I currently like. Being in this school, it's not easy at all. I mean, I didn't do it alone, but it's still not easy. Even Thomas Edison said, not many people recognize opportunity because it walks around looking like hard work. Even Thomas Edison knows it's hard work. School is hard work. A job is hard work. But I figure school is just practice for the rest of my life because it's hard work. Yeah, obviously. since it's hard work, I didn't do it alone. The principal at that time was Kyle Griffith, Dr. Kyle Griffith. He gratefully accepted me to his school. I acted more as a guinea pig to this school just to see how it worked out. And then I also like to thank my family for supporting me, like with homework that I didn't necessarily want to do but needed to get done. And like to thank Mr. Tobar for helping me to get where I am currently right now. Also like to thank my friends, that helped make it fun along the way.
Thank you, Matt. I'd like to welcome Melissa Newsom to the podium.
I want to ask you, why am I here? It would be easy to say that I am just a capable student. But I don't think the answer is so simple. Rather, I have to ask, why was I capable? The answer to that question is that I just got lucky. I, due to factors outside my control, was born into the industrialized Western world. I, again, due to factors outside of my control, was born in a time period in which education was seen to have legitimate worth and value. My basic necessities, food, transportation, shelter, were met and exceeded by my family's economic status. My parents played an active and positive role in my development. Bills were paid, dinner was served, and homework was checked. Why am I here, you ask? I'm here because I was given the phenomenal opportunity to engage myself with many fascinating thoughts, opinions, facts, and ideas about the reality of the world we inhabit, and the cognitive, social, emotional, economic, and empathetic tools necessary to properly interpret this experience. I am here, again, because I just got lucky. Unfortunately, we live in a world where many inhabitants are victims of systematic inopportunity. We are not born unlike the starving baby in southern Los Angeles. We do not begin life differently than a child born in Hunts Point. We possess no intrinsic superiority to a citizen of the ghettos of northeast Detroit. Let me ask, can we blame a student who comes to school hungry and doesn't perform well? Can we blame a student whose family had been more concerned with paying the bills and helping their child at school? Can we blame a student that struggles with parents who are absent, abusive, or just flat out never bother to encourage them? And as they fail in school with this burden upon their shoulders, do we tell them that college just isn't for them when they don't meet the standards that we set for them? Are we to reinforce a student's notion that they are worthless and unintelligent, as they may have been told by their friends and family, when they do not perform as well as their peers who have been well-fed, well-groomed, well-taught, and well-cared for? Do we just tell them that you are responsible for you and leave it at that? Do we consider them too ignorant, too lazy, or too incapable to be worthy of our time? In the same way that you cannot blame a student for factors outside their control by causing them to fail, by giving them such labels, you cannot credit me solely for just being a capable, intelligent student. I am just the same as a student who struggles in the sense that I'm merely a product of my circumstances that allowed me to be here today. I'm only here because these circumstances, and largely my education, which was perhaps the single most important factor, made it possible for me to be here. It is not my fault or my doing that I'm here any more than it's the fault of a child born into turmoil-laden Hunts Points and who ends up in a prison cell, led by a railway of empty cupboards, crowded classrooms, absent parents, troubled neighborhoods, police brutality, racial profiling, and bigoted employers. And when this child decides to join a gang for protection from the cruel world we created for him, he becomes a hoodlum? Does he become a leech on society, a disgrace to humanity? When he drops out of school realizing the hopelessness of his existence due to the extent of the damage we have caused him, does he become ignorant? I'm here today to argue that he does not. Many of us have the idea in our head that we get where we are as a result of personal responsibility, and that idea is the one that allows bigotry and inhumanity to perpetuate, that allows us to see people as less when they are not, and when we believe it is their own fault that they do not succeed. The only responsibility that we may possess is to have empathy and compassion for others around us, to understand the circumstances that have created them. Perhaps this child born into Hunts Point had the potential to cure cancer. Perhaps he could have ended world hunger. Perhaps he could have been a banker, a lawyer, a doctor, welder, farmer, engineer, plumber, electrician, veterinarian, or entrepreneur. He could have been standing here next to me, 16 years old with an associate's degree, a high school diploma, and the world open to him. We will never find out. this child grew into an adult, he grew to antagonize the world in the same fashion as the world antagonized him from the moment he was born. Many like him exist, and they walk among us. They need us. As grateful as I am to be where I'm standing, I'm saddened by how few stand next to me. So today, instead of looking to me as a single entity, as a single person that was seemingly intelligent and motivated, see me as what I am, a manifestation of circumstances. I ask you to see others like this and realize that you and others are also the same way. We all possess the same inherent capacity that shapes us into who we are. When we realize this and we don't place blame on people as being something as simple as capable and incapable, when we replace blame with love, understanding, when we recognize what is, what must change, and will unto that change, we can help others with the same potential that I have, but weren't as fortunate as I was to reach success. And for that success, I want to recognize the Academy and the school board for providing me with this opportunity to be here today, and my parents, family, my friends, classmates, all my teachers, counselors, and advisors, who all made it possible for that opportunity to be fully realized and utilized. Thank you.
Thank you, Alyssa. And now allow me to introduce our guest speaker this evening. Michael Masters is the Dean of Jackson Community College's off-campus operations, overseeing satellite locations in Lenawee, Hillsdale, and Jackson counties. Michael has been with JCC since 2002. In 2003, he oversaw the launch of the JCC at LISD Tech initiative with the Lenawee Intermediate School District, and in 2012, the launch of JCC's North Campus on I-94 in Jackson. He has participated in numerous academic and non-academic projects and initiatives through the Tri-County region. Dean Masters pursued his undergraduate studies at Auburn University in Alabama and possesses his master's degree in leadership for higher education from Capella University. Michael has over 20 years of higher education experience serving in several administrative capacities with 3 separate colleges. He has also worked in administrative capacity within private industry, served on numerous nonprofit boards and committees, and served as city councilman in a previous community in which he lived. Outside from work and volunteering, Michael has been an on-again and off-again avid runner through the years, running cross-country and track at the NCAA Division I level and coaching cross-country at the Division III level. Michael has 3 boys and is active raising, playing, and competing with them in backyard sports. Please welcome Mr. Michael Masters.
What an honor and privilege to deliver today's commencement address to the first graduating class of the JCC LISD Academy, the class of 2013. This is indeed an interesting commencement in that 2 of our graduates today, Alyssa Newsom and Brian Grail, have already participated in and graduated from Jackson Community College with their associate's degrees. Matt Mahalan, our 3rd graduate today, will be graduating from JCC in the upcoming semester. With this unique backdrop, I thought best to draw from the inspirational and motivational words that were shared at both my high school and college commencement addresses. Yet looking back, while I fondly remember each commencement ceremony, I have no recollection of any sage words of advice or inspiration that either of these commencement speakers bestowed. And within that memory void, any morsel of concern I may have held in that my speech today must inspire or motivate was thankfully alleviated. Similarly to the unmemorable addresses through which I sat, today's speech is not necessarily intended to motivate or to inspire, primarily due to the fact that I am not a sage with vast wisdom to share, more so a middle-aged man with some strong opinions. Rather, today's talk is about whether you, graduates, will consciously choose to be aware of your surroundings, or whether you have or will succumb to an unaware and uninspired natural internal default setting. In 2009, Del Cochran, former superintendent of Adrian Public Schools, and at that time recently retired and beginning a special project initiative with the LISD on leading educational collaboration discussions throughout the county, had stopped into my office. Del noted his pleasure with how JCC and the LISD were successfully collaborating with multiple organizations and asked if I would co-host a meeting with local superintendents, which Griffith was one at the time, to discuss ways by which we could collaborate to efficiently and effectively serve students. It is from those initial conversations that the JCC LISD Academy was born. A primary intention of this venture has never been to compete with or replace the existing K-12 educational system, but rather to provide choice and opportunity for students by which the traditional K-12 structure may not have been serving well their individual needs. A fresh start, a new beginning, if you will, for those who needed and wished a structure in which to take greater control and ownership of their learning. Additionally, the JCC LISD Academy, not unlike many of the skunk work ventures of the LISD JCC partnership, was designed to positively move the conversation and direction of the educational dialogue, to look at aspects of the traditional education model in an attempt and charge to expand, enhance, and improve upon the way in which education is made available and delivered to students of Lenawee County and beyond. And yes, I ended that sentence with a preposition. I'm rogue that way. Awareness of the educational struggles that many students face in the traditional system led to the bold yet thoughtful choices and decisions to launch the Academy. In these first years, the Academy has certainly experienced a great deal of organizational learnings, but overall, the positive experiences and successes have well surpassed any challenges that may have been encountered. And the successes speak volumes with our celebration today of the Academy's first graduating class. With that, I have not only high hopes of our graduates today, but more so, I have great expectations that you will have learned from this educational experience the calling to live purpose-driven lives in whatever realm life takes you. Making a conscious choice to be aware of your surroundings, seeing and feeling both the joys and struggles of those around you. Success must occur both in the visible world and the invisible spaces within our minds and hearts. But this realization takes tireless will, effort, and awareness of how we choose to view and react to our surroundings. As an example of how we create and choose our own awareness and feelings, envision you are riding on a bus, on a crowded city bus, and you're standing up holding on the overhead bar. The bus suddenly stops, and the person behind you slams into your lower back, causing some pain. You wait a moment for an apology or an excuse, yet none comes. So you start to become angry. You think, what a rude person. You get all worked up, turn around to scold the person, but when you do turn around, you see an elderly man struggling to maintain his balance while holding a load of packages. Immediately, your anger melts away, and you feel a sense of compassion and concern for the fact that he's standing up because no one has offered him a seat. The blow to your lower back did not create the feeling of anger. Rather, it was what you chose to tell yourself about the blow that created that emotion. In much the same way that another person cannot make you angry, it's what you choose to tell yourself about their behavior that creates your feelings of anger. Similarly, another person cannot make you sad or joyful. It's what you choose to tell yourself about your experiences that creates those emotions, as well as what and how you think. In a commencement address at Kenyon College in 2005, David Foster Wallace, who is an award-winning American novelist, short story writer, essayist, and professor at Pomona College, talked about our natural tendency to be self-centered. From an excerpt of his address, the following video, This Is Water, was created. Leading up to this excerpted video portion of his speech, Wallace talks of choosing to do the work of someone altering or getting free of my natural, hardwired default setting, which to be deeply and literally self-centered. He continues that learning how to think really means how to exercise some control over how and what you think. It means being conscious and aware enough to choose what you pay attention to, and to choose how you construct meaning from experience. Because if you cannot exercise this kind of choice in adult life, you will be totally lost. And he submits further that the real value of your education is supposed to be about how to keep from going through your comfortable, prosperous, respectful adult life, dead, unconscious, a slave to your head, and to your natural default setting of being uniquely, completely, and purely alone day in and day out. In 1993, Coach Jimmy Bavano was awarded the inaugural Arthur Ashe Courage and Humanitarian Award at the first annual ESPY Awards. Jimmy Bavano, well known for coaching the 1983 North Carolina State University basketball team. He coached the university basketball team to the national tournament win. He is likely as well known for his moving ESPY speech, ESPY Awards acceptance speech. In his speech, delivered just weeks before dying of terminal cancer, Jimmy noted that there are 3 things we should all do every day of our lives. And I quote, number 1 is laugh. You should laugh every day. Number 2 is think. You should spend some time in thought. Number 3 is you should have your emotions move to tears. Could be happiness or joy. But think about it. If you laugh, you think, and you cry, that's a full day. That's a heck of a day. You do that 7 days a week, you're going to have something very special. Graduates, if you are conscious and aware enough to choose what you pay attention to and choose how you construct meaning from your daily experiences of laughter, crying, thinking, and reflecting, you will create something very special and meaningful with your lives. To the JCC LISD Academy graduates of the class of 2013, as you commence today into the next phase of your life, be consciously aware, this is water, this is water. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. This time I would like to recognize students' academic achievements. The following students will please rise: Alyssa Newsom and Brian Grail. Both of these students are part of Phi Theta Kappa, a national college honor society meant to recognize and encourage scholarship among two-year college students. Students are eligible to join the chapter by completing a minimum of 12 college credits with a minimum cumulative grade point average of 3.5 on a 4.0 scale. We often get the question, is there a National Honor Society at the middle college? The answer is simple, yes, but an honor society reserved for college students. So please join me in giving these students a round of applause for representing our school at Phi Theta Kappa. Additionally, I'd like to recognize the following graduates for their academic tenacity and maintaining a grade point average. First and foremost, you may be seated, sorry. First, Matthew Milholland for maintaining a grade point average of 3.0 to 3.5. Next, see it? Brian Grail, maintaining a grade point average between 3.5 and 3.8. And Alyssa Newsom, grade point average of 3.8 to 4.0. Finally, as a new principal coming into the program, and a new program, there was a huge learning curve. And one of the first things I quickly learned about the Academy was that we don't do things the normal way. And that we had a 15-year-old who would be graduating with an associate's degree and a high school diploma. Alyssa, now 16, happy birthday. Yesterday's birthday. That we had a student working at a dairy farm before coming to school and leaving school to continue to work at his farm. Matthew. That we had a student who was a full-time college student at 16 years old who I had never even met because he was fully enrolled in college. Brian. You have taught me to think differently about education. You have taught us. You have challenged us to think possible what many thought impossible. You wrote a story that has changed the history of education in Lenawee County. Your story has inspired me to dream bigger dreams and has opened my eyes to the possibilities of education. Your story is a story of a new future. That is why I would like to present each of you with a book that is a personal favorite of mine, A Million Miles in 1,000 Years by Donald Miller. It is the story of a man who, like you, rewrote the norm of living. A story of a man who, like you, when he wanted something, was willing to overcome conflict to get it. A story of a man who, like you, changed people's lives for the good. Donald Miller in his book says, once you live a good story, you get a taste for a kind of meaning in life, and you can't go back to being normal. You can't go back to meaningless scenes stitched together by the forgettable thread of wasted time. Brian, Matthew, and Alyssa, I can't wait to read your stories. May each of you build off what you did here and continue to write great and purpose-driven stories. Life is a gift. Time is your currency. Embrace the adventure. And now the moment you've all been waiting for. Superintendent Phil, LISD Board of Education, on behalf of the faculty and administration of the JCC LISD Academy, a regional middle college, I certify that each candidate whose name shall hereafter be called has satisfactorily met and fulfilled all of the requirements that have been legislated by the Michigan Department of Education and the Board of Education of Lenawee Intermediate School District in partnership with 11 local school districts. President Keller, if you'd please come forward to present the diplomas to the graduates. Graduates, please rise. Brian Grail. Matthew Milholland. and Alyssa Newsom. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the pleasure and distinct honor of presenting to you the JCC LISD Academy Regional Middle College Class of 2013.
At this time, I would like to welcome the pioneer of the JCC LISD Academy, the first principal, LISD Assistant Superintendent, Dr. Kyle Griffith, who will deliver our benediction.
My one line is from the vision statement of the LISD. The LISD courageously pursues innovation and excellence and willingly risks the possibility of criticism and failure. Remember that one line as we just kind of walk through some memories and some stories. 4 years ago, the LISD, and I think Michael alluded to that, based on some conversations that we have had with all the local districts about doing education a little bit differently, developed the middle college. I sat in those meetings. I was superintendent at the time. I'd been in one district for 17 and a half years. One system, knew one model of education. And I kept listening to these conversations, and every time I listened, I became a little bit more intrigued about the model and the vision and what the possibilities were in a middle college. You know, how cool is this? I mean, really, students can really get an associate's degree in a middle college and do all their high school requirements. So wait a second. In the local district, that takes 4 years, right? But we're going to get 5 years. Really? Oh, come on. You're going to get all the requirements in and the associate's degree in 5 years. Boy, it was intriguing. And I thought, boy, hey, you know what? It might be time for me to take a risk, me to have a change with education and make a little career change. I was excited about it, very excited, so much. I explored the opportunity, met with a lot of people, made the decision to make that change. It was a big decision to make. Came to the ISD, worked on it a few months, met with my family, said, you know what? This is a great opportunity. I want you to understand that. But also trusting the LISD and the step that they took to make this a reality. The Board of Education Administration is very, very proud of the platform that you have created for students and the opportunities you've created for students. Congratulations. I want you to take your time and celebrate this moment tonight. Give them one big standing ovation as they exit. Are we ready? Here we go. Congratulations.